Yo, what's happening guys, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Great League video. Today I'm going to be showcasing a very strong team, and actually what I think is the strongest team in the Great League currently for climbing and gaining elo. We're showcasing Patrick's battles here, who actually got his highest ever elo with this team. We're using Whiscash, Dewgong and Skarmory. The Skarmory and Whiscash are both Shadow. I think Shadow Whiscash is really good. You can use a normal Skarmory in this team as well. Shadow Skarmory hits a bit harder, but of course is a little bit glassier, but in general this team is super strong. And today I want to put a focus on Dewgong. Dewgong is a Pokemon I showcased quite recently because it has a very unique potential to core break this meta. Dewgong beats both Whiscash and Skarmory. It is one of the few Pokemon in the meta that actually can do so. It's very bulky, it's got very good coverage with Drill Run, of course hitting the Steel types, and Icy Wind for all of the Flyers, Dragons, and of course any grass and ground you might see in the meta. It's a Pokemon I showcased a couple of weeks ago, and people have really came onto this Pokemon quite recently. I'm sure you guys seen in Catch Cup, a lot of people are double legacy building Dewgongs. So if you guys do want to build this Pokemon, it is very, very worth it. If you're going to make a Dewgong, you have to make a good one. It costs 2 legacy TMs, an elite fast TM for Ice Shard, and an elite charge TM for Icy Wind. By the way guys, I'm recording this video first thing in the morning. It's 7 AM here. I'm looking after my kids today, so I want to get this video out kind of early. So if I do sound asleep through these battles, it's not because Patrick's gameplay is not fantastic. It is because it is quite early here. So hopefully you guys do appreciate the early content here, but hopping into the battles guys, first of all of course drop a like, subscribe. Big thank you to our channel members and supporters on screen right now. Very much appreciated, and thank you very much for the support. So hopping into this battle, what's going on? We've got Shadow Skarmory launching a Sky Attack against the Annihilate. The opponent comes in here to the Charge Bug. We don't unfortunately get off a last second move, but we can come into a Steady Cash. Oh, actually the Whiscash is not Shadow. I think this is a rank 2 non-Shadow Whiscash. Once again, Shadow and non-Shadow has slightly different play. The extra damage from the Shadow does kind of help it out in certain spots, but non-Shadow is perfectly fine here. We're going to go for a Scald. That's going to get the Charjabug quite low. Charjabug is quite a decent Pokemon in this meta as well. It's a Pokemon I was actually running on my alt quite recently. This Pokemon just can hang in with just about anything. Funny enough, Yasserlead made a video on Charjabug quite recently, a couple of weeks ago, and he was just talking about like it doesn't really have that many bad matchups. Against fire types, you can get off the discharges, and it just has a lot of neutral matchups across the board. Do let me know guys in the comment section down below. Are you trying to make a push for Legend, Expert, Veteran, Ace over the coming week or two? And let me know which league you're going to be playing. I think I'll be playing most likely Ultra League next week. I've not had the most fantastic time in the Great League. I do see a lot of teams like this, which personally I'm not a huge fan of. I think this is probably the strongest core in the Great League, but it has to be said that it is quite an RPS core. Now, if it was me personally, I'd probably run Whiscash in the lead, because your back 2 Pokemon are weak to Lantern. However, Dewgong can put in some work against Lantern with Drill Run. Anyway guys, I think if you're looking to hit Legend in the Great League, I think this is going to be a fantastic team. For me personally, I might not play a lot of Great League. I definitely will play some Great League if I get a Giratina, but apart from that I'm going to stick to Ultra League. I do think the format's a little bit more skill based. The opponent actually throws a move here, meaning that we should be able to get to this move. We otherwise probably wouldn't have, and they come into a Frostlass. We're able to live a couple of Powder Snows to get this off, and this will of course look to absolutely one-shot the Frost if they let it through. Now, we could come in with Whiscash, or we could come in with the Dewgong. I do like coming into Whiscash. The opponent does not throw their move immediately, meaning we get this damage through right away. We could go for a catch here in Dewgong, which would be kind of nasty, but I think we're basically fine here to either let this go or respect it. The opponent will go for an Avalanche. We do go for a Mud Ball and CMP here. We will definitely survive this Avalanche, and this Mud Ball will look to take them out. Oh, it is a Shadow Ball. I do quite like the bulk of non-Shadow Whiscash at some points. If we were using Shadow, that would have KO'd, but I think we would have of course done more damage with the Scald, so it's definitely a bit of a trade-off. In comes a Wigglytuff, and this is another reason why Dewgong is just absolutely great in this meta. Dewgong just dicks all over this Pokemon. Wigglytuff, like, you just debuff the life out of it. You've got so much HP, so much defense. Wigglytuff just cannot charm for a Dewgong. Disarming Voice all you want. They do go for a very nice catch here in Dragonair, but I think even still, this is not going to help them too much. We're going to go for one more Icy Wind. As you can see, the opponent's charming through us, but Daddy Dewgong is going to dick this down, and that's going to be good games. Whenever a Pokemon can beat Charmers in the meta, but also beats the Skarmory Whiscash core, I think you're onto a winner basically. We do get the Mirror in the lead. This is an interesting one. Shadow versus Shadow is quite interesting, because after one Sky Attack, you're in Brave Bird range. I think if it's non-Shadow versus non-Shadow, the opponent goes straight for that, which is never really the play, because you always survive it. You always survive the first one, and you're basically forced to shield. We do actually commit to the second Brave Bird as well, so the opponent's going to have to take heavy damage or go down 2 shields on their Whiscash. Opponents love going down 2 shields on Miscash because they can go for the dirty debuffs. However, no debuff is going to save them against this Pokemon. The opponent goes for a Scald on the fucking Dewgong, like an absolute degenerate, to get the debuff. The opponent does get it, and we do just decide to shield up the second one. Dewgong, very thick here, and we're going to go for the debuff in return, just to lower their attack. The opponent comes into the Skarmory again, we do catch the move on Whiscash, and this will hurt a lot. Of course, Brave Bird coming in, it does about 65-70%, and we should be able to outpace him in CMP, if it ever gets to that. Scaldy Waldy coming through, this is going to knock him out, and in comes a Victory Bell, my goodness. We are close to the move, and once again, that's another nice thing about Dewgong. This very toxic team that you see sometimes, Dewgong has play into all 3 Pokemon. I'm talking about the Bastiodon, Victory Bell, Wigglytuff team. By the way here, easy lives, this should be GG right here. But yeah, it has a lot of play because you've got Drill Run for Basti. So if you're up a shield, you can potentially, like, what I sometimes do in that match is like get off like 1 Icy Wind and then go for 2 Drill Runs. You have the ice coverage for Victory Bell, even though they're doing super effective. They pretty much have to shield up your Icy Wind. And against Wiggly, as you seen earlier, you just absolutely destroy it. So Dewgong is kind of neutral into that team. It's a little bit less favorable against, you know, Bastiodon and Victory Bell, but it definitely has a lot of play into a lot of these teams. The opponent brings in a Lantern, and once again, Dewgong has a lot of play into this Pokemon. I believe in the 2-to-1s you win this match, and especially because we're up energy, we can actually start looking to make this match very close. As you can see, they will not survive another drill run from this range, or if they do, it'll be very, very low. Look at this, guys. We're able to actually get off a second drill run on the Lantern. This is absolutely huge. We tank the Thunderbolt like it's nothing, and we get the shield off a Lantern. Absolutely amazing here. In comes the Wiz Daddy Cash. We can live like 2 Surfs pretty easily here, and we're going to look to go for a Mud Bomb. At this range, Mud Bomb will be lethal. The opponent goes for a catch on Dewgong, and I believe that was a CMP tie on the potential Icy Wind. The opponent, of course, looking to get... guys, I gotta get the debuff. This meta is so dumb. This meta is so bad. Bro, everybody's absolutely horny for the debuff. Absolutely upset. Bro, the opponent went down 2 shields with a Shadow Frostlass in the back just to get the debuff. Ladies and gents, what is going on? What is going on? Anyway, guys, hopping back into this here, I think we probably live this Surf, to be honest. But that's absolutely fine, of course. We're going to go for the Scald, go for one last dying debuff here. A little bit of a Scald BM just to take them out. Very good games to Patrick there, and, you know, as you can see, this is sort of why I'm not really enjoying Great League at the minute. The playstyle is very interesting. Now, speaking of interesting, we have a very awkward lead here. Overall, our entire team's kind of soft to this. Whiscash can play well against this Pokemon. Skarmory can, of course, get shields off of it, but I believe Annihilate wins every even shielding scenario, especially if they get one bait through. If the opponent goes straight Shadow Ball, I think you win, but other than that, you lose. And we actually play our win con here. We let the second move go, predicting it's going to be a Night Slash. If the opponent Shadow Balls, they win. The opponent did not Shadow Ball, therefore they do not. And we actually come into Dewgong here, which is quite interesting, I guess, to absorb the damage, because Dewgong is quite thick. And we're going to go for a very, very aggressive Ice Shard down. We're going to let this next move go. The opponent goes for yet another Night Slash, and we farm it the whole way down, take shield advantage, and we've just got a ton of energy. The opponent comes into an Alolan Ninetales. I think I just accidentally blind for this here, but we can certainly get off one more, unless the opponent goes for Weather Ball. I don't think we die to a Weather Ball at this point. So 2 drill runs here would have been lethal, and the opponent will, of course, still have to throw their move. They still have to throw Gleam here. If they don't throw the Gleam, like, that's not going to take out the Dewgong. They have to throw both of these. So we should be fine here. Definitely should have just went double drill run, but that's perfectly fine. Now, the opponent's shown themselves to be kind of weak to this in the back, so I'm predicting that it might be like a Gligar. Yeah, it's a Gliscor. It's a Gliscor. Now, usually against Gligar, this does about 70%. Because this is a Shadow Gliscor, it does like 95%, and we go for an absolutely nasty catch. A nasty catch. That's going to seal it and deal it here. We'll be able to mudshot it the whole way down, and the opponent's had enough. The opponent's had enough. He top lefts. He's going to hop into the next battle, and so are we. Good games there. Dewgong just putting in some work. Quite a bad lead here. We've got a Salazzle. We're going to go into Dewgong here. Pretty decent safe swap against the fire types. Because of course you have the water subtyping. You have Drill Run for coverage. And the opponent comes into a Chansey of all things. Now, Dewgong absolutely destroys this thing. Actually, I don't know if it does or not, but you're going to debuff this once or twice. And you're basically putting them in a position where their 0 damage is doing 0 damage. So this is going to be quite interesting. It's going to be a long, drawn-out matchup here. Apparently, opponents have not had enough Chansey gameplay during that entire week of Evolution Cup, and they're bringing it into the Great League, so, I mean, good for this guy. He's getting his Chansey absolutely destroyed here. Hyper Beam actually does take us out. We're going to come into Skarmory, and at this point, like, we basically resist every single move this thing can throw. Skarmory is like the hardest wall imaginable for Chansey, and we resist the fast moves, resist the charge attacks. There's nothing Chansey can do against Skarmory. we'll basically just keep farming up. I think we could even commit to the farm down at this point. We have no need to even throw a move here. Hyper Beam absolutely tickles Skarmory. We do go for Brave Bird on the Shadow Empoleon. Even though resisted, this is going to hurt an absolute... what? Hello? What was that damage? What was that damage? Shadow on Shadow? That absolutely ripped them to shreds. We do get a nasty farm down with Whiscash, and I mean, you guys know what's going to happen next. Whatever comes in is going to get absolutely debuffed into oblivion. However, Patrick has been a good guy and he's only going for Mud Bombs. We only need to go for Mud Bombs, and these are double super effective. We go for a nice a little bit too much of an overfarm to be fair, but we go for a nice overfarm. The opponent goes for Dragon Pulse, we easily live it. They come back into Chansey. We're going to hit them with the Mud Bomb here. Patrick, of course, going for the correct moves. We're going to come into Skarmory and look to go for the Brave Bird or something here, Sky Attacker Brave Bird, to look to get the final shield off them here. And because we still have a shield and we have the move banged, we're basically chilling at this point. Good games there to Patrick. That was a funny way of going about it, you know, going into the Skarmory for the move, but I respect it. In comes Chargebug lead, once again, just an awkward Pokemon for this team. We do come into Dewgong and the opponent meets us with a Quagsire. You know, I think this is probably a good time to mention, like, sometimes, it depends what moveset this is on, but sometimes it's better just to stay in. The opponent goes for Mud Bomb. That's quite interesting. Do they go for another Mud Bomb here, or do they actually go for Stone Edge? The opponent's going straight Mud Bomb, so I think it would have been beneficial for the opponent to just stay in with Chargebug. I think coming into Quagsire is just basically asking to get alignment flipped on you. Yeah, Patrick is playing for alignment now, which I agree with. The opponent's giving you a really big chance. Yeah, they end up swapping back out, because they know at that point they're not really going to take alignment. The Quagsire must have been on Aqua Tail, but yeah, sometimes it's better not to swap out if the opponent meets you with a Pokemon that you don't really have a great answer to. Sometimes you should either stay in and chip it for a while, like play the match out a little bit, or just completely stay in. Now we've got the perfect alignment here. We're going to go for Scald. I actually, believe it or not, think the best moveset to go for is double Mud Bomb in this matchup. Maybe one Scald, one Mud Bomb. I know you definitely don't have to go double Scald. The opponent comes back in with Quagsire. We're going to look to get off this move immediately, or at the very least before they get off another move. And they come into a Whiscash of their own, so this should be basically curtains for the opponent. We're going to look to go for more or less the guaranteed debuff. We do get it right here, and yeah, the opponent should be just top lefting at this point. And we can even let this go. Come into Skarmory, we'll easily tank probably 2 Scalds at this range. Are we going to go for a nasty catch? Are we going to go for a nasty catch? We do. Oh, we do go for it. We do go. Oh, and the opponent froze a move anyway. I think the opponent had to commit to the farm down at that point. And I think that's pretty much what we're going to be doing here. Just committing to the farm down. Yeah, I like shielding up the first move. The opponent's never going to go for the other move. And yeah, we're just going to Steel Wing it the whole way down. One Scald. I believe this will do less than half. Let's have a look here. Boom, it done absolutely nothing with the debuff. Good games well played. Patrick closed out that game very nicely, and in comes Gligar. This is an amazing lead for Skarmory. And in comes Annihilate. So as much as we had an amazing lead, this is a very awkward swap. Now we could have potentially went for the move before the opponent here, but I think we're basically... Oh, they go straight for Shadow Ball. We are basically guaranteed to get shields here, and we're going to outpace to 2 Shadow Balls, right? And we know that we definitely make another Scat Attack just in time here. This cannot be a Shadow Ball. This can only be an Ice Punch, but at this range we might as well just shield it, I guess. I don't know if we just about live that. Oh, we are committing to that. That's a huge farm down. That's an insane farm down. We're going to go straight for, I believe, a Brave Bird here. Let's have a look. Brave Bird coming in, that of course would do a lot of damage. And now we have a fantastic alignment. We have Whisk Daddy Cash here on the Chargebug, and we've got the Dewgong on the Gligar. This is basically curtains for the opponent. It's absolute curtains for them. It's absolute curtains. Yeah, this is game over. Oh, so let me have a look here. By the looks of things, actually, if it's non-shadow, I think you do need to go for double Scald. It is something I think you guys should try to keep in mind. Be cognizant of the fact that you do have Mud Bomb as a move. Even though Scald is an amazing move, it has the same damage output as a Hydro Cannon, but it has a 50% chance of debuffing. Scald is an amazing move, but just keep in mind that sometimes you need 2 moves to KO. So you can either go for 2 Mud Bombs or 2 Scalds, or you can even go for 1 Mud Bomb, 1 Scald. You know, going straight Scald is not always the play, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I recommend building Dewgong, and I recommend using this team. It's a very, very strong one, and I don't know why, but I just have this feeling that Dewgong is going to get buffed next season. Don't ask me why I think this. I've got a feeling, this is crazy, right? But I think Ice Shard is going to get buffed. I don't know why. I think it would be an absolutely horrible idea, by the way, because Dewgong is already strong enough. But Ice types are a little bit weak at the minute, and Dewgong is a Pokemon that does very well into the Skarmory Whiscash core. So for some reason, don't ask me why, I feel like it's going to get buffed. I think it's a bad idea, but I think it's going to happen. Even if it doesn't get buffed, Dewgong is still very strong and very good into this meta. If you guys are looking to hit Legend in the Catch Cup, this is one of the best teams, if not the best team. The Skarmory Whiscash core with Dewgong is very, very good. Or if you're looking for a different kind of Dewgong team, I'll leave a link to my video up in the top right or at the end of the video. Go check it out. I showcased a different sort of anti-meta team with Dewgong. But thank you very much everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe. Thank you Patrick for the gameplay. Next season, if you guys want to submit some gameplay with the newly buffed Pokemon, there will be a link in the description down below. But thanks everybody, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for a brand new video.